a bold adventurer man. Jim Bowie, battled for right with a powerful hand. His blade was tempered and so was he. Indestructible steel was he. Jim Bowie, he was a fighter, a fearless and mighty adventurer man.
In 1829, reports of strange and disquieting events in Louisiana reached the desk of Andrew Jackson, newly elected President of the United States. What he did about them was soon felt by the Cajuns and by his friend Jim Bowie.
Oh, he's not Major Jordan. He is Jim Bowie. Bowie?
There is nothing I can do about it, mademoiselle. I understand your problem.
No,
but...
you don't understand.
Oh, monsieur.
Howdy, Jack. Say, I'm supposed to meet a Major Jordan here. Has he arrived yet?
No, Monsieur Bowie.
Oh, well, when he does, let me know, will you?
Oui, monsieur.
Thanks.
Pardon me. Are you Mr. Jim Bowie?
Well, yes, I am, miss.
I'm Madeline Perwan. My papa owns a plantation on the Delta.
Oh?
I'm just visiting my Uncle Henri up here, and one of my cousins came down with the mumps. I think she did it just to tease me. She's always been jealous. Anyway, I wasn't able to leave as soon as I planned, and I'm in trouble, terrible trouble.
Well, dog my cat.
I probably shouldn't ask you, Mr. Bowie, but Papa wouldn't mind, and I've heard enough about you to know you're a brave Southern gentleman
Thank you.
who wouldn't turn his back on a lady in distress. So I will ask you, Mr. Bowie, I absolutely must be in New Orleans by 8 o'clock on the day after tomorrow.
Well, I'm afraid that's not possible, miss. You see, there's been trouble on the road for weeks. Even the stages are not running.
But if you'd act as my escort, I'm sure you could get my carriage through safely.
No, I'm sorry. I'm on my way home. I haven't been home in months. Besides, it's too dangerous.
But it's a matter of life and death.
Whose life and death?
Mine. They're holding the governor's ball. And if I don't show up, you know what they'll say?
No.
The other girls will say that I didn't have a new dress, but it's a lie. Papa, I had one sent all the way from Paris, and it's a dream. It's blue silk with a tucked-in waist and little bows on...
Miss, are you asking me to sit in the saddle for 48 hours, to ford rivers with a carriage, to fight outlaws, to risk my life, just so you can get to a dance in a pretty dress?
But it's not just a dance. It's the governor's ball.
Oh.
And I'll just die if I don't get to go.
Then you better start dying, miss, because I'm going home. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got a pressing appointment of my own. That's also a matter of life and death. The appointment's with a great big beefsteak, and the life it'll save will be my own.
But, Mr. Bowie, those outlaws won't hurt you. You're so brave and famous.
I'm not that brave and famous, miss.
Jim Bowie, are you actually running from a pretty girl?
Not running, Major, stampeding.
Jim, I'd like you to meet my son, Pat.
Howdy, Pat.
See about a room for the son.
Mr. Bowie, sir, you are not a true Southern gentleman.
Miss, you may have decided that I'm not a gentleman, but remember, you're a lady. Major? Oh, Major, you haven't told me yet what brings you to Louisiana.
I came here to see you, Jim. I need your help. What do you know about the Cajuns?
Oh, not much. They're simple people. Shrimp fishermen, fur trappers, small farmers. For the most part, they're fine people.
Heard about any trouble among them lately? Or with any of the French?
No. But then I've been down in Memphis. I'm kind of out of touch.
Jim, I must have your confidence. President Jackson has sent me down here to stop a secessionist movement.
Secessionist movement?
Whoever they are, they want to take Louisiana out of the Union. To do it, they're planting fear and suspicion in the minds of the Cajuns, telling them that the United States government plans to confiscate their property and deport them.
They won't believe that. They're not that simple.
And that's what our reports say.
Louisiana's been American for 25 years. Been a state for, well, since 1812.
They were deported once before, you know, from Canada.
There's something strange about this. We're the leaders.
You don't have to get involved, you know, Jim.
I'm already involved. I live here.
I can use your help. One of the leaders is Paul Bouchard, a former army officer. When the president first heard of the trouble, he thought the French might listen to one of their own people, so he picked a man named Bouchard, Captain Bouchard.
Maybe he thought the French would make him a general. Where is he?
In New Iberia.
Well?
We get one man, but we don't stop the movement. Our first job is to reassure the Cajuns.
Well, the Cajuns are like most other people. Once they get stirred up, it's hard to quiet them down.
I'm carrying a letter to them from President Jackson. In it, he gives his personal promise to protect their rights and property.
Well, let's deliver it.
I hope you'd say that. All right, come on. Letter. Take the letter. Yeah.
Ready to go, Pat? I'm going to try to carry out your father's mission. I got 2 scores to settle with Bouchard. Your father was my friend, and Louisiana's my home. You find the letter? We're going to deliver this to the Cajuns. I'm going to deliver it as Major Jordan and his son, Pat. Maybe we better be Major Jordan and his brother, Pat.
How can you impersonate my father? They know he's dead.
Only Bouchard and company know that. And they can't expose us without implicating themselves, you see? If they are ready for an open break now, they'll be afraid of this letter. Maybe that's why they killed your father. I'm going to make Bouchard help me show this to the Cajuns. Have I got everything on all right?
I think so.
The only thing that worries me is how can I make my knife look like part of a major's uniform? Come on, let's go. There's a friend of mine works here. I want to see him.
Hey, George.
I'm glad to see you.
How are you?
Fine.
Good. Look, I haven't got time to explain right now, but for the moment, I'm Major Jordan.
Oh, if you say so, Mr. Boyd.
Yeah, Major.
Major Jordan.
Yeah. And this is my brother, Pat Jordan.
Hello there.
We're trying to locate a man named Bouchard. You ever heard of him?
Heard of him? Why, he's my boss.
Oh.
He owns this livery stable and just about everything else in this town. He's a powerful, rich man. Leastways he was.
How do you mean, was?
Well, he's a gambling man, Mr. Major.
Yeah.
A big gambling man. His luck turned down on him. I know one of his servants.
Where's he live?
Oh, just out of town. It's a big white house. You can't miss it.
Thank you, Joseph. Hey, Pat. You going over to the hotel and book us rooms. I'll be there in a little while.
But I want to talk to Bouchard, too.
Your time will come. Don't worry.
My father was...
Your father knew how to obey orders. Now, go on. Good seeing you, Joseph. Captain Bouchard?
Yes? Oh, it's Monsieur Bouchard now. I retired from the army several years ago.
Oh. Allow me to compliment you, sir, on your beautiful home. If I could afford a place like this, I'd retire, too.
I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage, sir.
I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself. My name is Jordan.
Who?
Major Owen Jordan, United States Army.
I'm honored, Major. Won't you be seated?
Thank you, monsieur, but I'm in a hurry.
What can I do for you?
President Jackson has told me that you are familiar with the secessionist movement in this area.
Familiar with it?
Didn't you investigate it for him? He said that you did.
Oh, of course. But I found out it was only a tempest in a teapot.
Oh, you may be right, monsieur, but I've been sent here to make sure.
Then tell me in what way I can be of service.
I have the honor of bearing a personal message from the president to the Cajun people of New Iberia. And since you are a former Army officer and a leader of the community, he hoped that you would help me arrange a meeting with them so I could talk to them.
I'd be glad to do that, Major. But you know, the Cajuns live back in the bayous, and it takes time to get them together.
Then I will wait to hear from you, monsieur. The president has told me that he has a high regard for you and that I can depend on you.
Oh, thank you.
Good day, sir.
Major, as you see, I am having a party tonight, and I would be honored if you would come.
Well, that will be my honor, sir. Thank you. Until tonight, then.
Andre, Michel! I just had a visitor, Major Owen Jordan.
Jordan?
Oui.
It's not possible. No.
It was someone impersonating him.
Does he have the letter?
He says so.
So what shall we do? Feature it to the Cajuns?
We'll expose him. He's forgotten one important detail. He's in territory I control. And I can make many mistakes, but he can make only one. Ah, Major. I see you and your brother have met my most charming friend.
We surely appreciate their company, Mr. Bouchard.
Did the Major tell you that he is a personal aide to President Jackson?
You're too modest.
Well, ma'am, I'm not actually a presidential aide. I'm on assignment to the Secretary of War.
Then you must work with the new Chief of Staff. General...
Yes.
Who is the Chief of Staff, Major?
General Scott and my brother are very good friends.
Tell me more about Mrs. Jackson, Major. We've heard so much about her.
Well, I'm sure that not everything you heard is true, ma'am.
But there are some very uncomplimentary stories about her.
Are they true?
Well, I don't know what you heard, ma'am, but this much I do know. The president loves her. She makes him a good wife and a beautiful first lady. Well, now, look at this.
I just won't know a single soul here, Uncle Henry. I just don't know how I'm going to get my program filled. Oh, Eloise.
Well, ladies, if you'll excuse us, we've had a hard ride today, and we have to be going.
Oh, must you go so soon? The party's just beginning.
Good night, ladies.
Good night.
Monsieur Bouchard.
Excuse us, please.
Uncle, I want you to meet my good friend Eloise and her brother from New Jersey.
Excuse me.
It's my uncle.
What you doing now? Is she still there?
Yes. She's not looking, though.
There's not a chance. You get the horses ready.
Right.
Mademoiselle, I want you to meet my honored guest.
But I know Mr. Bowie.
Bowie? But this is Major Jordan.
No, it isn't. It's Mr. Jim Bowie. Surely you must have heard of him.
Miss, I think you're making a mistake.
What happened to the real Major Jordan, monsieur?
Why, he's dead. He was murdered in Natchez.
The situation is clear. This man is an imposter and probably a murderer. Seize him. Search him, Andre.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. Don't let him have that letter.
Take him away.
Please, now, listen to me. This man, Bouchard, is responsible for the death of Major Jordan.
Take him away.
Take him away. Don't believe him, you people.
Did I say something wrong?
No, my dear.
you again. Miss, you caused me enough trouble. Will you go away, please?
I came to apologize. Pat told me what I did. I'm awful sorry. I'm not always so stupid. The town's full of Cajuns. They're going to hold a meeting tonight. He says Bouchard wants to get started right away before news of Pat's father gets back to president. Pat'd like you to escape from jail.
Do you have any suggestions how to do that?
Well, I brought something that might help you.
You did?
But you have to turn around.
Well, miss, I'm in no mood to play games.
Would you please turn around?
Huh?
I hope Papa doesn't hear about this. Ladies shouldn't carry weapons in the stockings.
Well, I promise not to tell him.
Pat should have brought this, but the guards would have searched him, and I wouldn't stand for it. Now, do you forgive me?
Forgive you? Why, miss, I could kiss you.
Oh, no, you mustn't. Papa'd never understand if he heard about me being alone in a room with a man and letting him kiss me.
He wouldn't.
But in this case, how's Papa gonna know?
Well, I promise not to tell him.
Well, now I better be going so you can start escaping.
You make it very simple. Marilyn, do you know how to faint?
Good gracious, no, I'm not the fainting type.
Well, couldn't you just do a little faint? See if I can get the guard away from those keys.
Well, I would like you to take me to the governor's ball.
That's another promise. Guard?
Something wrong, Missy?
I think I'm going to faint.
Oh, that's too bad.
Guard, don't you think you better?
I'm going to fall.
Yeah. Looks like the young lady's going to faint.
Can't stop Bouchard now. We'd better get the army.
If we can get a murder confession out of him, we can stop him. Should we get it?
Let's get it.
Wait a minute. The odds are better for us out here. Now listen.
What are you doing here? Talk.
He's here with me, and you're the one who's going to do some talking.
Monsieur,
quiet.
Messieurs, I am most gratified by your support. Your contributions have been most generous. But what is more important is this proof of your love of France. Napoleon betrayed our beloved country when he sold Louisiana. The time has come at last when we can get it back. Our committee in Paris is ready. All it lacks is funds, and those you will get. Go back now to your people and spread the word. Get their contributions and bring them to me for transmission to our associates. And remember, messieurs, if we fail, we will deserve the fate the Americans plan for us.
We still have no proof the Americans will throw us out.
Would you wait until their bayonets are at our throats? I told President Jackson in Washington of the fears of our people. I begged him to reassure us, to tell us that our lives and homes would be safe. His silence proves his intentions. If the president does not plan to drive us out, why doesn't he say so? He promised me he would send a letter of assurance. Where is it? You know where it is.
Gentlemen, President Jackson does not plan to take your land, and this man knows it.
Don't listen to him. He is an imposter.
First one who moves gets this. Now, you tell him who killed Major Jordan and why.
He was bringing a letter from President Jackson. Bouchard did not want it to arrive.
He's forcing him to tell those lies at the point of a knife. If there is such a letter, show it to us.
Tell him why I can't. Go on.
Bouchard burned it.
Gentlemen, you've been hoodwinked. There's no committee in Paris. There's no secessionist movement. There's no plan to deport anybody. About all there is our friend Bouchard's little scheme to recoup his gambling losses. He's not going anywhere. You all know Andy Jackson. He doesn't want to fight you. Neither do I. My name's Bowie. Jim Bowie. Louisiana's my home as well as yours. I see no reason why we can't live here peacefully together. We're Americans. All of us.
Patrick, Jim Bowie has told me how your father died in the line of duty. He's also told me about your part in helping capture Bouchard. Your country is in your debt.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. President.
This is a letter to Colonel Thayer at West Point. At Mr. Bowie's suggestion, I'm giving you an appointment to the military academy. Be as good an officer as your father, and we'll both be satisfied.
Yes, sir.
I know you both will be interested in this. It is the record of Bouchard's court-martial. He wanted to be a Frenchman, so we are sending him to France after he gets out of prison. And now, Jim, what reward can I give you?
Oh, just the chance to get back home, Mr. President. Looks like I'm taking a young lady to the governor's ball.
Request granted. Presidential advice. Never keep a lady waiting.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Adventurous man, Jim Bowie. He roamed the wilderness unafraid, from Natchez to Rio Grande. With all the might of his gleaming blade, he fought for the rights of man. Jim Bowie, Jim Bowie, he was a bold adventuring man. Jim Bowie, battled for right with a powerful hand. His blade was tempered and so was he. Indestructible steel was he. Jim Bowie, he was a fighter, a fearless and mighty adventurer.